So the Galaxy S26 Ultra is basically the main guy in Samsung's phone lineup right now. But the big question is, what actually changed compared to the S25 Ultra, and did Samsung really do enough this year to make it feel like a proper upgrade? Well, there are 15 differences between these two Ultras. Some are actually big, and some, you'll see as we go. Let's get into it. If you're planning to pre-order the S26 Ultra or the Buds 4, use my purchase links. You'll get the best deals with $30 free credit, better trade-ins, and a few extra perks. Full details are in the description. The biggest upgrade on the S26 Ultra starts with the display. There are three major changes just in this one area alone. The first is the new privacy display. Turn it on and the screen pretty much blacks out from side angles. There are two modes here, normal and maximum protection. Maximum makes it even harder for people around you to peek at your screen, but Samsung does mention that enabling the max mode may affect normal viewing slightly. What's actually more impressive is the automation. You can set it to activate with specific apps for notification pop-ups and whenever a screen requires a PIN, pattern, or password. That makes way more sense than leaving it on all the time, because that would mess up your own viewing angles too. And it's not just about privacy. The S26 Ultra also brings a bunch of hardware-level display upgrades. It uses the new M14 panel, which means lower power consumption, better color output, longer lifespan, and overall efficiency improvements. On top of that, it moves to a 10-bit display capable of showing 1 billion colors compared to 16 million on the 8-bit panel of the S25 Ultra. That translates to better HDR, smoother gradients, and less banding, especially in skies and darker scenes. However, not everything changed. PWM dimming stays the same as last year, and peak brightness numbers are also unchanged. Next up is the camera, and again, there are three big upgrades here. First is the new custom 24-megapixel mode on the S26 Ultra that will not come to the S25 Ultra through a software update. When you compare the 24-megapixel shots on the S26 Ultra to the 12-megapixel default on the S25 Ultra, the difference is obvious. The overall image looks better, with improved dynamic range, richer colors, deeper shadows, and sharper details across the frame. Just look at the textures, flooring, text, everything stands out more. The strange part is, Samsung doesn't enable it by default. You have to download the Camera Assistant app and toggle it on once. Sure, the S25 Ultra already has 50-megapixel and even 200-megapixel modes, but those don't deliver the same dynamic range as the default pipeline. This new 24-megapixel option feels like the sweet spot. Now, if you compare the camera specs side by side, you might think nothing changed, but that's not really true. Samsung has made clear improvements to image quality, especially in low light. Zoom shots show less noise, sharper detail, better control over lens flare, and overall clearer output. Colors also look more natural now, with balanced tones and more neutral skin rendering. The main reason for this change is the aperture upgrade. Samsung increased the aperture size on both the main and periscope cameras on the S26 Ultra, letting in around 40% more light. That improves depth and overall image quality, even though other specs look similar. And this isn't just for photos. Videos benefit even more from larger apertures, so the improvements show there too. There are also small focal length tweaks. The selfie camera is wider now, while the main and periscope cameras are slightly more zoomed in. And if you've been wanting Apple-style ProRes on a Galaxy phone, the S26 Ultra finally brings something similar. It's called APV codec. It works in a similar way and gives creators more control over recording and editing. Samsung says APV is more efficient than ProRes, so if you wanted a ProRes-style RAW option on a Galaxy device, this finally delivers it. Next is charging, and Samsung has made upgrades here too, both wired and wireless. Wired charging now jumps to 60 watts. Samsung says you can go from 0 to 75% in 30 minutes, which is about 10% faster than the S25 Ultra. Wireless charging bumps up to 25 watts, but there's a catch. The S26 Ultra still doesn't include built-in magnets like iPhones or Pixel phones, so even though it supports the latest T.22 standard, you'll need a magnetic case for faster wireless charging speeds. Now, when it comes to the speed, Samsung has made 3 more changes. Storage speed is improved on the S26 Ultra, though only marginally, and it's about 7% more efficient. The RAM is newer and roughly 26% faster than what you get on the S25 Ultra, which should help with multitasking, lens switching, and overall smoother performance. And of course, the phone runs on the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy chip. Samsung claims 19% gains in CPU, 26% in GPU, and 39% in NPU performance. This is also the fastest mobile chip right now, even ahead of Apple's i19 Pro on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. The S26 Ultra is already extremely fast, but with Samsung offering 7 years of OS updates, these long-term gains matter if you plan to keep the phone for years. Now, when it comes to the design, there are 5 changes here, including a big downgrade. Corners are slightly more rounded. Edges are a bit more chamfered, which improves the in-hand feel. The biggest visual change is the camera module. It now looks closer to the design on the Z Fold 7, and considering how clean that looks on the Fold, this feels like a solid update. The S Pen's clicker end has also been redesigned to match the phone's curvature, which means inserting it the wrong way will make it stick out awkwardly. But more importantly, Samsung has also reduced the thickness on the S26 Ultra by 0.3 millimeters and shaved off 3 grams of weight. Not a massive difference, but when you consider that Apple's latest iPhones have now become a literal brick in hand, this is a welcome upgrade. But just like Apple, Samsung moved from aluminum to titanium for the frame. No matter how you spin it, this is a downgrade. The likely reason is costs, and Apple did it, not thermals, because the S25 Ultra already had good thermals with titanium. That said, most people use a case anyway, so in real-world use, this probably won't matter to the majority. On the software side, the S26 Ultra gets new AI features like Now Nudges, better photo editing tools, updated Bixby, and more. But all of these are also coming to the S25 Ultra through the One UI 8.5 update. So those are the main differences between these 2 Ultra phones. The noticeable upgrades are in display, charging, and cameras. Charge is also faster, but I don't think the S25 Ultra users would notice it because it's already fast. Again, if you're pre-ordering the S26 Ultra or the Buds 4, use my links to unlock extra savings. I'll see you in the next one.